First of all, a disclaimer, these Crocs are not mine. So, yeah. And I know a lot of you already know, but a lot of you don't. I'm sick. Anyway, so at the beginning of this year, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor.
What kind of brain tumor?
It was a grade 3, turning to grade 4 glioblastoma. And that's, yeah. And I'm 17, so that's like really uncommon.
It's like 2% of the diagnosed population are children.
Being under 18.
So like if you guys look it up, all the stats out there are for people that are like 40 to 50. So all those statistics don't really apply to Elisa because they're based on people who've like their bodies have gone through already so much more.
Yeah.
But so how did you know that something was up?
Oh, so at the beginning of this year, like January, February, I was having like a lot of migraines, and I was just like, and they were getting worse as time was passing.
So like I've personally never had a migraine. For the people out there that have never experienced it.
For me, it was kind of like behind my eyes and at my temples. Just felt like kind of like pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And as like they were getting worse, I was starting to like throw up. And then we thought it was just indigestion.
But then what changed that you realized, hey, this actually isn't indigestion?
There was like one weekend that I lost like 5 pounds. Yeah, I lost 5 pounds, and we were concerned because none of the medicine that I was taking like Pepto, I was taking like Alka-Seltzer, and none of it was helping. And like I would just throw it up like a couple hours later.
And it wasn't just like the medicine, it was literally water too.
Yeah.
Like she would
like, I would drink like some Gatorade and then...
Not just even Gatorade, like straight water. And like it would be clear, like her vomit would be clear.
Cute.
Hey, I'm just whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I'm putting it in perspective for them.
It was kind of rough.
So, being a person in America that has headaches that doesn't go away, what did you do?
Oh, so after that weekend...
Mm-hmm.
My mom took me to urgent care.
Before that,
I was suffering. I was running to the bathroom every like half hour.
Did you go to your regular doctor?
I went to my regular doctor, and they thought it was like cluster headaches, and they gave me like a steroid to like break that cycle of headaches. And
which actually worked for a little bit.
But then they came back like...
Because the steroid wore off.
Yeah, because they gave me like one single pill.
And like, so your headaches, I remember, were going on for a while, and you would literally carry bottles of pills around with you. And what was your ratio?
Oh, it was like 2 ibuprofens and 1 Tylenol. Take it with like an energy drink or like a coffee.
And what was Excedrin ever in the mix?
Excedrin, because Excedrin has caffeine in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would help sometimes, but like short, like relief. But I don't know.
Alright, so we covered that. One weekend was really bad, and Mom was like...
and then at urgent care, they were like, you're really dehydrated, because I was throwing up. And they sent me to a hospital to get an IV, like emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, you need to go like right now, like leave here and go directly there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went there, and they did a CAT scan.
Yeah, it was a CAT scan.
And they thought it was brain bleeding.
So the thing with CAT scans,
they're
doctors,
not as accurate.
Yeah, doctors, they're like a kind of a quick and dirty solution to tell if something's there, but it's not like a clear picture.
Yeah.
So they did a CAT scan, and they thought it was a brain bleed.
and it wasn't, but they saw that something was there. So they sent me to a bigger hospital with an MRI machine through an ambulance.
And this hospital was actually out of state, and we're actually pretty close to the state line. No phone during this, stop it.
Yeah, like,
but they were like, yeah, this hospital's like neurology department is much better. We'd recommend that you go there. Keep going.
And so we go to the hospital. We go to the bigger hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And we wait there for a while.
Yeah.
And we...
Basically, like, this one sends, like, the most horrible text message.
What did I say?
You're like, guys, I'm dying. I love you all.
Dramatic.
It worked, though. So, like, everybody... And this was around...
Instagram Live, too.
Yeah, she was living. But she, like, this was around 3-something in the afternoon. Yeah. So, like, everybody was, like, getting off of work, getting out of class.
Oh, and they were just, like, hit
everybody, like, kind of dropped everything and went to...
Connecticut? It's fine. It's just Connecticut.
Okay. But, yeah, so... And the thing is that they had her in the emergency room at that hospital, and she was only allowed...
Like a couple of visitors?
Yeah, so we would all
of my siblings came.
Yeah, so we were like kind of camped out in the waiting room, and we would, because they had tags.
Then they would have to like swap out every like half hour or something.
Yeah.
They brought me donuts and I didn't get to eat any of them.
Yeah, we thought that she might get operated on that night.
Oh yeah.
So we were like, swap out.
Yeah.
But then she wasn't allowed to eat any of the food we brought her because they thought that she might get operated, and before surgery you can't eat.
Empty stomach.
Yeah.
And bless you.
Alright.
And then, so I didn't get operated on that night. The next day. Oh, we did the MRI there.
Yeah.
And they saw that it was a tumor.
Yeah. And they're like, it's not a brain bleed, but you can eat now because we're not going to operate.
The guy sitting on the trash can, right?
Yeah.
It's the only one I remember.
But yeah. So he was like, yeah, like, I'm going to be... I think he said he was just going to be hanging out in his office all night, like, writing orders or something.
Oh, yeah.
So if we had any further questions, we could call.
We didn't have questions.
Yeah. But then we all left. Except...
Mom.
Yeah. Then we came back the next morning.
Oh my gosh, I remember it was like 6 in the morning. And I was just asleep. I was attached to an IV, but they were switching the sheets on the bed.
Uh-huh.
Oh, because I was in like a room at that point?
Yeah, so they admitted her to a real room because when we left her, she was in the ER still.
Yeah.
So I guess they wheeled her up to the...
And they were switching the sheets, but like I was asleep and on the bed still. It was just so bizarre.
So next morning, we meet the actual surgeon.
Oh, yeah.
And our brother and his wife showed up. They, like, drove up.
They drove up, like, 6 hours. I was like, me?
And then
we go home that day.
Yeah, we went home that day. And after a while, we had, like, an appointment to take a clearer look at your...
MRI.
Yeah.
And to talk to the surgeon.
Yeah. And so during that appointment, how did he describe the tumor?
Wait.
How big did he say it was?
It was like 3 by 4 by 5 centimeters. And he described it like a plum, I think he said.
Yeah. And like, what was the positioning of it?
It was like right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like behind, what did he say? The front temporal.
Yeah, right temporal.
The right temporal lobe.
So even though, turn your head a little bit. So even though she's saying right here, it was more like right here. And they call that like a quiet space of the brain. But did they get it all out?
They tried to.
What was stopped?